Well, I'm in Garden City for the next few days at a 3-day consignment auction here, but on by Scott Auction. There's a hell of a lot of stuff here. I'm mostly here for farm machinery, maybe a couple of vehicles, some parts, and some other stuff, but we'll just see what the next couple days bring. We'll see what we end up with, because who the hell knows? A lot of this, people just refer this to the junk auction. We'll see what happens. Could be fun, could get some really good deals. I'm sure there'll be some eventful stuff happen either way. We're just kind of walking down the line of the main farm machinery. Little case skip loader, cute little John Deere 8100 tinted cab, you know, Southwest Kansas special there. I think we're in Texas today, but good BKT tires on it, so spray coupe sprayer. It's kind of looking at the 1086. It's definitely seen some sun and moisture, interestingly enough, which is uncommon in this area, but it's got bubbles on the door, bubbles on the back of the cab pillars, which, you know, is fairly common on 1086s, but uncommon in you know, dry climate world where like I am. And I haven't even looked in the cab of this thing. It doesn't look too bad, actually, so I don't know, it might be worth the risk. It's got Firestones on the back, dual PTO. There's this other cute little Massey 165 diesel, something I'm pretty interested in. I like these little Masseys. Obviously that tire doesn't hold air. It's got weights, missing a couple pieces of sheet metal that I can probably come up with, but tires are pretty average on the back. We've got some cracking. But these are great little auger tractors, little yard utility tractors, so always a market for them. Pretty slick 4850 here too. This will probably be way out of my budget. It says 9,110 hours. It's not too bad, pretty typical hours of one of these guys, but they got her shined up pretty nice. I don't know if it's been painted before, but it doesn't look too bad. Little 7810 John Deere. I'm sure somebody doing hay and cattle will love this thing. Not really for me. 2040 John Deere. No thanks. I have a very large disdain for these little Fords, actually, so probably stay out of this deal. There's your Delta 4840. The reason I say Delta is it's got rice tires on the back, so it's not a great sign when they've got rice tires and it says runs, no hydraulics, no trans, no steering. Not good. Cute little Ford, I don't know, Jubilee or something. I'd have to look at the serial number to know more. Could be an 801 or 800 too. And you got your little BF Avery, and then a shitload of tires, and we'll go through the trucks in a little bit. So it's gonna be a busy time. As you can see, there's plenty of vehicles here, and I don't really like doing vehicles too much because then it gets me into having to do title work. But there's more than a few of them here. This one's kind of intriguing, where it's a Dodge 1-ton dually with a Dewey's bed on it. These are always pretty useful. 190,000 miles. Looks like a 5 or 6 speed truck. I'd have to crawl in, but you can see the bed's been used. It's an old 278, so she's pretty old bed. I think there's an 01 or 02 truck if I remember the auction listing. So it's definitely seen some ranch use. Looking at that toolbox there. If we look over here on these Deweys, at the serial number on the side of the truck, usually it's stamped in over here, but I don't see it. The serial tag itself isn't readable, but usually there's a stamp here that says what year this bed is. But the truck is locked. It's a 5-speed truck. Interior doesn't look too horrible. Typical Dodge seat wear and armrest wear. Definitely one to watch. Definitely had some body work done too, and it's got a low tire, but you just never know. Might be a good flipper or user too. We're gonna just keep going down the line here. Another 2nd gen Dodge. This one's V10 with a spike bed on the back. And big old cube feeder too. Funny big cube feeder. The cube feeder itself, if it's working, is worth pretty good money, honestly. Spike bed, I don't know. But not a bad looking truck. Got some base model truck, got some dings there. This one's actually unlocked. Oh, it's a 5-speed truck. Kind of cool. Interesting. Throttle down there underneath. Don't know, probably for feeding or whatever. Set your throttle and run. This one's not too bad. 140,000 miles on it. Be kind of something to watch too. The spike bed doesn't add much value, but that cube feeder is valuable, I guess. A couple old grain trucks. I have a really bad soft spot for old grain trucks, but thankfully my guy that buys my old grain trucks for me usually is going to be here, so I don't have to mess with that. It's a nice, pretty solid old rust-free C60. That's the nice thing about old trucks in this part of the world. They're generally not rusted out unless they came from the north somewhere or east somewhere. It's a good looking truck. It's your old Dodge. Here too, Dodge 500. Sure as hell don't need that. There is probably no market for that truck. Any old crane truck would probably lift a little bit. Somebody actually brought a combine to town. 9870 John Deere. It's like a 12-row Bish converted row head for Milo up here too. Yep, that's exactly what it is. But I guess somebody's gonna get themselves a 9870 at the end of the weekend. Somebody's gonna get blown head gaskets too, probably. Here's a pretty good looking one. 3/4 ton Ram. So 233,000 miles on it. Typical bed, C&M bed, losing paint. I know mine is, but not a bad looking pickup. Somebody used the hell out of it probably. It's commercial tags, so that's always interesting. Don't see a def fill anywhere on the truck. Must be old enough it's either DPF or somebody's deleted it. I'll go look underneath it. Delete is the answer. Definitely deleted. Don't tell the EPA. Huh, that's a big old service truck there too. Geez, somebody brought more than one combine to town. There's 9400 here too. 9400 four-wheel drive tractor here. That'll be way over my budget, so we won't even look at that. And somebody brought an S670, but we're gonna keep walking down the line here. If I see something cool, we'll get more video. Here's a kind of cool one. F100 with a long, narrow bed on it. But you don't see a ton of long, narrow beds. It's, I don't know what year this Ford is. I know it's a Ford. That's about it. You know, not real versed in this sort of stuff, but I know enough to know long, narrow beds special. 4-speed, 3 on the tree, 4-speed truck. Came out of Pratt. Got a little rust on it. Doors beat to shit. But this is non-running and no title. 6-cylinder. Yummy. And you got another square body. There's a square body down there. The short bed square. Kind of different. This one here I'm actually fairly interested in because I could use the drivetrain out of it more than anything. It says it drove in, but no title, I don't think. So yeah, shouldn't bring a ton with no title. But the drivetrain would be handy to put in anything of mine, old truck wise. I think it's still got Getrag in it. By the looks of things, yeah, there's a door's locked, but there's a Getrag in there still, so that's not so great. Tailgate is not original, but here, I don't know, she's kind of beat to shit, but it'd be useful-ish for parts more than anything. I'd like to have a motor out of it to put in one of my other pickups maybe. Yeah, it looks pretty typical. Kind of mousy. Looks like I've been sitting quite a while. Not too bad though. We'll think about it some more. Definitely not going to give a lot for it, that's for sure. Another Ford over here too. F-150 Ranger, so higher end trim package, and really doesn't show rust anywhere. Just, that's never a good sign. Just, yeah, it kind of is what it is. 79 too, I guess. 78. Higher end packages in 78 had square headlights. Doesn't look too bad though. Somebody'd probably give a pretty penny for it. Half-ton F-150 Ranger. And then with the old Wagoneer here too, that's pretty solid looking. Makes somebody a hell of a project there too. Ooh, it says it runs even. Huh. Interesting. The paint makes me wonder things though, like what were they up to here? Because that doesn't quite work out for me. Interior, missing pieces, but it's not bad by any means. Doesn't smell terrible. The carpet looks pretty new in there, so somebody was mid-project on this deal, I'd say. And it looks like, yeah, one door panel back there at least. Kind of a cool rig. I have to think about this one a little. It'd be like the family truckster, you know. Ooh, don't love that. I don't know. You got a question? Oh yeah, she's not that solid. There's a rust there, so maybe not. Maybe not. We'll keep going down the line. Pretty cool couple Dodges there too, 50s and 60s, but I don't know what the market is like on those, and neither of them have title, neither of them run. That's time to be a fun little farm pickup. New clutch, new wheel, has a title, 4-speed. I don't know. Be a fun little bounce around pickup for sure. And then you got the High Boy F250 here. Runs flatbed, 1971 it says. I don't know, this one's pretty damn cool. These usually bring pretty good money though. 4-speed. I'd assume it's a V8 truck. Well, we're not gonna look today, but yeah, that one's pretty damn cool old truck really. Be a fun one for sure. Just, yeah, I don't like doing title work, so I don't know why I'm looking at vehicles. My wife would kill me if I was doing more title work, but yeah, I'll just keep looking. Again, not supposed to buy grain trucks, but I really like this one. It's 60s Ford, 292 V8, 5.2, an F6. It's 58 F6, I guess. That title, hydraulic dump. There was a local farm around home that had trucks that looked just like this back in the day. Actually, local guy had one and sold it recently on an auction, I think last year. And it brought pretty damn good money, I think, but I don't know. Not a bad looking old truck. Got some rust behind the wheel. Parked for 3 years, was running then. Yee. Definitely a little mouse damage by the smell. Typical Ford looking dash for the era. Not too bad. Back window's broke. Wood bed, so not my favorite thing in the world. But ooh, I don't know what that's been hauling. It's not really what you want to see in the back end of a truck. It's been sitting for 3 years. She's not too bad. I don't know. Just cool trucks. These things are no fun to haul because they're like bricks. But it's a pretty good looking thing. Trade winds bed out of Liberal. No rust over here, but I don't know. We'll see what this one does too. Be a cool one just to have around, but resale on it again is an old grain truck, so poor. Just keep walking. That's a big corral. Now this is a cute little bugger. It's a little case auger wagon thingy. Just don't see a lot of this sort of stuff. Floor looks really solid in it. Auger looks good. Tires are meh, as you'd expect. It's got good color on it still. This one might be a good grab. Just maybe even for the collector market. I don't know. Sure is a cute little thing. Huh, Minneapolis mowing, rotary mower too. That's a new one on me. Doesn't look too terrible, but that thing's cool. Just don't see that every day. Should be a fun little guy to play around with. Package with a case tractor sometime. Gotta be fairly old too with that logo on it. It's amazing. It's still got paint on it, really. Might have to see about snatching this one up. We are definitely in the heart of irrigation country with plenty of pivot parts and irrigation pipe and wellheads and tires and motors on center drives and wheel gears. But we're gonna look at ATVs because staying out of that market. We only have one pivot. I don't care. We're gonna look at these some more because this is right up my alley, honestly. You guys don't see it, but I love to mess with four-wheelers and stuff, especially old three-wheelers and things like that. Been a pretty good market for me. I've been doing it since I was in college, just to have beer money, to be honest. So always come back to this because it's always been fairly profitable, honestly. Well, I didn't do much video in there at the consignment auction. Wind was blowing, wasn't conducive to videoing. Really, I only bought 3 lots of stuff the whole time. Stuff was pretty junky, flawed, or whatever. But I did get 2 3-wheelers, a Yamaha Viking, and that Case grain wagon. So pretty excited about those. We're actually right now about half hour, 45 minutes from home. So we'll have to get some video walk around of everything I grabbed tomorrow. And you know, the stuff that was there, that 8100 John Deere, it no sold at 29 grand, I think. They said they just put 40 grand worth of work into it, American Implement, and it had like 10,000 hours, and it had, I don't know, it was questionable. I think it was owned by some German Mennonite traders, and I just didn't like it, and nobody else did, obviously. So it no sold. That 1086 that was there brought, I think it sold for 5 even, but the guy had a safety net on it, reserve, and it got run up to 4750, and I think they said it had to get 5, and so they did. Little Massey 165 that was nothing special and pretty rough and a little scary, honestly. Brought like 3750, which is ridiculous because I've had a 180 for 6 months that's nicer than that I can't get 5 grand out of. So maybe I should have put it on the consignment auction. The Ford Jubilee brought like 1900. A buddy of mine did buy the BF Avery for somewhere around $1 grand, I think. A lot of the vehicles were selling poor, but they were of poor quality. So it was just one of them days, one of them auctions in general. And it was a Scott auction, and his motto is there is a reason, and by God, there's a reason I didn't buy much. So just how it goes. But yeah. That auction's always really interesting too, and that area is really interesting as well, because being me, I only speak English, like, you know, as most, you know, Americans only speak English. But in that area, there was a large majority of folks, and honestly, I think there's more German and Spanish being spoken than English there at that auction. So, but it was good. Got to network with some friends, sat around, had a few beers last night with a handful of friends of mine in a buddy's basement there in Garden City. Got to see some cool farm toys, stuff like that. That stuff's always fun, makes it worth it. And I think I can make a profit with what's here on the trailer. We'll share when we get home and take it from there. If you're interested in what you see later on, let me know. Well, it's been raining and sprinkling all morning, and we actually just got done hauling some cows at the sale barn. So I just came and unhooked from the trailer this morning, and I haven't had time to get unloaded. But this is what we snatched up at the consignment auction. There's 2 3-wheelers here. That one's a blue 1983 model Honda 110. They only made that blue color in 110s and 83 and 84, and there aren't a ton of them out there. It's not the nicest machine, but I do have the plastics in the pickup for it, and they are nice. The front fender's nice, tank's really nice. I have a crack right there on the top of the headlight bucket, but I think we can probably repair that so it's prettier, at least. These are hard to find. I don't really care if the motor runs or not. I can find another ATC 110 to swap the motor into, or swap all the good stuff onto and run it from there. Tank, or not, did come with a tank for that guy and some other parts that are all in here. Kind of just a parts machine. But coolest thing I grabbed was this Case Helix auger wagon. Really cool, really nice and solid. Not rusty really at all. Inside's pretty darn clean. This will be fun. Might be handy for running alongside a Massey 300 combine, honestly. Needs tires. They're kind of old, 540 PTO. But probably the nicest one I've seen. I think it's probably spent its life in a shed. Honestly, you don't quite see them that nice very often. And then the other thing I grabbed was this, I think it's 2015 or 2016 Yamaha Viking. It's got 8,000 miles on it. I didn't pay much for it. The Yamaha, or the Polaris dealer out of Montezuma, Kansas was a consignor on this, and they brought in a bunch of trade-in stuff. Most of the stuff was Polaris's, and they had pretty high reserves on them. Some sold, some didn't. Snatched this one up pretty reasonable, just because it's kind of off-brand for them. But we have a really good Yamaha dealer locally, so this should be pretty marketable. It needs some CV shafts and joints. The boots are, I don't think that one there is shot, but this one, yeah, the boots got a hole in it. You can hear them clicking when you turn, but it appears pretty good. 8,000 miles on it. Starts right up. I think it needs a battery. It's camo, which was, you know, a higher option back then, so that costs more money. But pretty nice machine. I'm gonna put tires on it too. Just get it cleaned up some, and we'll list it. Winch, but needs a cable. Somebody added light bars, windshield, stuff like that. But you know, pretty sellable machine around here, and it's not rusty at all. Definitely been a Southern machine most of its life, so pretty pleased with that one. But that's the load of stuff I got at the consignment auction. Didn't bid on anything else yesterday, but you'll probably see some more of this. I love to work on three-wheelers, so we kind of paid our way through college and beer money on three-wheelers, some buddies and I. So that's it. I guess if you're interested in the case grain wagon, it could be for sale, but it's not gonna be cheap because I really like it, and that'll be for sale too. So thanks. But that'll be it for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the stuff. The consignment auction didn't cover a lot because it's so windy and whatever, but we're gonna work on these some more. I gotta go get ready for a toy show this weekend. You guys have a good one. Go drag something out of the weeds and get it running.